I want to talk about overcoming the belief of not having enough expertise or about the excuses that we might come up with or procrastinate about to talk ourselves out of taking action and following our dreams. And for the past 13 years, I personally silenced that whisper in my ear to take action towards building this thing I'd imagined. I'd always wanted to help people unlock their confidence to be seen and heard, especially those who might have gone through some challenging circumstances in their life and that it might have knocked their confidence to be seen or heard or be visible. Or for people who somehow think that despite their life experience and expertise, whether that be in the school of life or in their professional voice, their voice has been locked away, but they somehow want to make a bigger impact and build something that's going to be bigger than themselves. Well, for a long time, that person was me, and by helping others, I've been able to help myself with my own digital course. So when I decided to start my online business journey, I'd been looking at how I could create a course about my then struggles, which was about getting comfortable with creating Reels, which had just launched in around about 2020. And in 2021, I was looking at ways in which to articulate everything that I'd learned as a marketer with over 20 years of experience, as well as the life experience of having been through some pretty hard health challenges that had knocked my confidence. So I knew what I wanted to do, but my only big issue at the time was projecting my voice and sounding good on camera, and I was having major issues with getting started. In my previous corporate career, I was exposed to the importance of supportive messaging as a behavior change marketer when I was launching mass-scale campaigns to encourage health screening. And I'd also spent 2 decades in ad agencies and auditing some really large ad accounts, but I still didn't see how I could lean on that experience or expertise to come up with something meaningful that would actually help people. So I started to work on my voice projections, and through that process, I found that I was doing these takes over and over and over again. My kids at the time, they're both teenagers, they were rolling their eyes every time they saw me. And I remember just being called cringe. And one morning I simply woke up and I had a thought that popped up in my head and said, cringe to confident. To heck with it, I was going to not only embrace my cringe, but I was also going to help others get okay with being cringe. And so I decided I was going to use my theater experience as a child and then combine it with my behavior change experience to come up with this hybrid program that helped people unlock their voice and go from feeling judged, insecure, or scared to feeling confident with their visibility and messaging, but in a safe space. And so I launched Cringe to Confident in January of 2023. And so the one thing that I would say to someone listening is that if you feel like you don't have the expertise, just know that you don't have to level up and do anything extra. You can create a course based on exactly where you're at and think about the struggles that you've had leading up to where you are now and lean into that for inspiration on what your next course or idea could be about. So the takeaway really is to commit to saying yes to yourself, because the only one to bet on you is yourself.